All right, let's talk about who we talking about first here. Is it
Cracker Barrel.
All right, gosh, that was in the news a lot. Let's go with the numbers. Talk more about the news here. They're in the restaurant industry. Wow, 31.5% short on the stock. They think this stock is going to drop dramatically. P/E ratio doesn't look justify that. It's 23.2 versus 30.5, and you want these numbers lower. Price to sales 0.4 versus 2.4. Price to book value 2.8 versus 16.9, and price of cash flow is 7.2 versus 17. So the valuation ratios look pretty good. Over the last year, earnings are up 41% versus the at 1.7. Sales are up 1.1 versus the industry up 3.1. Now, for some reason, the analysts on the 5-year earnings per share growth estimate a negative 126% versus a positive 6.5%. So I'm not sure why that's happening here. You'd want to find that out. They do pay a decent dividend of 1.7%, using 38% of their earnings to pay that out. And then look at the balance sheet, current ratio 0.7 versus 1.2. That's a little bit low, especially when you look at debt to equity at 2.4 versus 1. And then we see a net profit margin of 1.7 below the industry at 7.9. And return on equity is 12.3. So, and free cash flow could be a problem here. Only 25, I believe that's million, versus 2.9 billion for the industry. What do you got going for it?
Yeah, I was going to say real quick. I mean, they were in the news because they announced a new logo, and then they took a lot of backlash for it. I mean, the stock, I think, went down like 10% on the announcement of the new logo. And then they said, okay, actually, we changed our mind. We're not doing the new logo. And the stock went back up like 10%.
I think it was masking the financial information, maybe. I don't
think
know.
so. And I mean, people were pretty disappointed with it. It looked like there was a poll that had 65% of Americans were aware of the new logo, and then 76% of those people preferred the old one. So people didn't like it. Even President Trump weighed in and said, change it back to the old logo. But again, they're not going forward with the new logo. And to me, I looked at it. I didn't see all the outrage. It looked pretty darn similar to me.
Did it change the taste of the food or the service or anything?
I don't think so. But let's look at the numbers here real quick before we have to go to break. Current price for Cracker Barrel, again, their ticker symbol is CBRL. It's $59.82. 52-week range, the low here, $33.86. The high, $71.93. I look at this company, though, over the last 5 years, it has not done well. The 5-year return down 55%. 10-year return down 59%. I mean, it has definitely struggled over those different time periods. Going forward for the business, though, I go out to July 2026 as they report on a fiscal basis. I see estimated earnings per share of just $3.33. I mean, it gives us a target sell price of $55.28. It's still expensive, even with that decline, trading at around 18 times future earnings.
And this is a prime example of why not to buy high-value stocks. I see even the earnings are up from 9 days ago to 310, now at 333. So everything is looking good, but this company is just too expensive. This is why you do not buy high-valued companies. Even when they pay a dividend, you've got to understand what you're paying for something. And I would love to buy a Cracker Barrel restaurant. Sounds pretty good, but not these prices. I think it'd have to go probably down to probably 30, 35 before we
I don't know, too. I mean, the tariffs could have an impact on them. They are a restaurant, but I don't know if you've ever been to a Cracker Barrel.
I haven't. I think I have, but I'm not sure.
There was one in near Flagstaff, Arizona. So that's the only time I went was when I was in college. We'd go there sometimes. It's like a whole store inside. So like half of it's a store that's got like gifts and kind of candles and like kind of this old country vibe is the whole thing they play off. And then the other side is the restaurant. So I don't know. Tariffs could be something that's impacting them as well.
Maybe, but be careful. You're looking at Cracker Barrel.